Welcome to Movie Lowdown's Top 10 2018 Movies.
Ready?
We were recording the whole time.
Run from it. Destiny arrives all the same.
Hi guys, welcome to our top 10. It's that time of the year. It's time of last year that we missed.
I mean, Golden Globes were this week, so...
That's true. Andy Samberg's funny.
Yeah.
He's hilarious.
He was the host?
He was, and Sandra... Oh, my God.
And who?
Sandra.
Oh! Okay, yeah, I kind of watched some of it. Mostly just the highlights.
Yeah.
So I didn't really... Because I don't have TV, so I just...
That's true,
whatever's on the internet.
Yep. Really cool fact, though. I really like that Spiderverse won the best animated.
Dude.
Hands down, by far...
Well, then we'll get into our top 10. But
Yeah, that was something that I really enjoyed. So.
No, that was a great thing to see.
So do you want to get into it?
Yeah, so we're going to start with our 10 and work our way up. I'll go first.
Sounds good.
So my number 10 was Vice.
Ooh.
So I saw Vice with my parents on Christmas, and it was a great movie. It had a lot of laughs, a lot of drama. Christian Bale won Best Actor at the Golden Globes for his role as
Dick
Cheney. But Sam Rockwell, this guy is freaking underrated as heck. Mm-hmm. He doesn't win any awards, and he's such a great actor.
He is amazing.
He did so good as Bush. He even got his lip gestures right, like
really,
like his upper lip, like how good he does.
It does. It's almost like an Elvis, but it's Joe Bush.
Yeah,
yeah. And this is one that I didn't have on my list because I've not seen it yet.
I know.
I wanted to actually see it last night, and as soon as I looked at the times, it was like 7:45. And it started at 7:50, and I was like, you know what? I'm not going to rush up there to get it. So it's still. I'm going to see it this week. I plan on seeing it this week, but
there's just a lot we're hitting us at the end of the year, you know.
And but that would definitely. I think that would definitely be on my list if I had seen it. I'm just going with movies that I have seen this year and I've enjoyed. So
now, there's a lot of humor, like I said, but there's a lot of drama. There are some, dull, boring parts at times. Great acting by Amy Adams, like I said, Christian Bale, Sam Rockwell, and Steve Carell.
Okay.
Now, there's an awesome twist that happens about 30 or 40 minutes in. I'm not going to spoil it just because how awesome it is, but it's kind of like oh shit, you guys, you pulled a fast one on us type of a
I can
twist.
imagine. I can see that with it being a government movie kind of like that, so...
Now, I want to know how accurate the stories of this were, because apparently, Christian Bale did a lot of research in this, and even knew like how to fix a heart attack.
Right.
Remember we were talking about our news show
and how to know the warning signs.
The warning
it's not
signs,
just your arm hurting or he actually took the time to research and...
Exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, Vice is number 10 on my list. How about you?
My number 10 is The Predator.
Predator, okay.
Yeah. The only reason it made number 10 was because it was sloppy. It was a very sloppy movie, but in the sense that it was still funny. Mm-hmm. It had a lot of action in it, a lot of good scenes. Thomas Jane was hilarious in it.
Dude, Thomas Jane was one of the best parts of the movie.
Keegan Michael Key was in it, and he was hilarious.
As always.
I wasn't a big fan of the lead actor. I think that he did really good, but I think that he could have done better. I think that the plot...
He was the guy that was in... Sorry to cut you off.
No, you're good.
He was the guy that was in Suicide Squad?
No, he was actually... he was not in... He looks like the guy that was in Suicide Squad. He's another actor that's kind of been getting into roles. He was in Narcos. Narco.
Oh, that's right. He was in Narcos. Yeah, he's one of the main characters in that.
He was really good, but I think that he could have done way better. I think that the script was definitely what hindered that.
I think so. The script was definitely lacking.
But it had the Shane Black humor that you expect in the movie and the drama that you expect in the movie. So it was one of my top 10s. It was definitely... It was on that Vice would have knocked it out.
Okay.
Easily, Vice would have knocked it out to move to a different spot. Mm-hmm. But I want to put it in there because I did enjoy the movie. Mm-hmm. I didn't sit there the whole time looking at my watch trying to figure out if we're getting out of there soon.
Yeah.
So, and that's really how I kind of with my ADD, I kind of you can start sensing if it's a good movie if I'm sitting there like
Yeah, drowning
in it. And yeah. So, what do you have for 9?
It's not turning. Sorry to Bother You. It's my number 9.
Yeah.
This movie is freaking great. I wasn't expecting to like it as much as I did, honestly. I thought it was just going to be like, oh, it's, an interesting, like, funny comedy movie.
Yeah.
But it completely makes a right-hand turn. And I'm like, whoa, what's going on here? I have to rethink my life.
Yep.
What is going on with this movie? Why is it so fucked up?
Yeah, and it's almost like a period piece for how we are now.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit ahead of its time. I think that if we watch this movie a couple years from now, it'll make a little bit more sense the way that things are going. And I actually just watched this last night.
Yeah.
This is
second time.
This is for the second time and really just absorbing it, and it was just like it was amazing how much of a turn it does. I mean, it
It's a complete 180.
It sticks its foot in the ground and does a really big 180, and it's a fun ride.
Yeah.
So, it's on my list too, but 9 is definitely.
And it really hit me because I was recently in a call center for about 4 years, and so it was really. I reflected on that, so I know exactly how that guy felt.
Oh yeah, and luckily, like. You weren't doing cold calls?
No, thank God.
Because cold calls are hard, and I think the white voice that they talk about, it's almost like a metaphor, and I don't know what.
Well, you do it,
yeah.
I know, and I do it. Whenever you're talking to someone that you want to sound like you're
projecting something else,
happiness, or being an inviting voice,
Yeah. So easily, one of those movies that it's solid. You don't think that it's going to be the way it is, and it's a refreshing surprise.
Definitely.
So,
what was yours?
Mine was Mission Impossible.
Okay.
Fallout. This one, same thing as Predator. I like blockbuster movies. I like popcorn movies.
Yeah.
And this one was good. Very.
It's a shame you didn't see it in theaters.
Yeah. It was predictable. That was my biggest problem with it. It was so predictable. We talked about this in the movie Lowdown about the trailer and how the trailer just gave away everything. And I mean, when you got the stash going, man, you got something evil going on.
Right.
And it was very noticeable right away that this was going to be all about Henry Cavill and him being the bad guy, and they try to trick you in it, and I was not, and it really just kind of took away from the film. Action-wise, it was great. Got to see Tom Cruise break his leg, and that was that cut.
That's what made up for the movie, is the action scenes.
Oh, yeah.
How awesome they were. I want to say this is the best Mission Impossible for action.
Oh, yeah.
As far as action-wise. I mean, he always pushes the limits, but this one...
Well, he is old, too, and it's amazing that he's still doing his stunts.
50s, I want to say?
Yeah, easily his 50s, and he's doing his own stunts, and he's just kicking ass, and... no, I'm not on Tom Cruise's list of people that I really like Tom Cruise, but this was a refreshing breath of air.
I mean, last year I loved his American Made. I think that might have been on my list last year. I don't remember.
It was, yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
Because honestly, like every year he puts on a great movie, and I can't complain. I want to see more, but we'll see.
Yeah. What do you got for 8?
8, I have Blindspotting.
So
this one came out of nowhere. Saw the trailer for this and looked like it was gonna be so-so. It looked like it was a cheesy, weird movie.
Like Friday, like...
No, yeah, it was like Friday, but it's kind of like it's a what do you call it? Like a social...
piece. Like a period
social
piece.
Yeah, I have the word written down here. It's kind of... one moment. A social commentary.
Social commentary, okay.
Yes. So it follows this guy that is convicted of beating the shit out of someone, and he goes to jail, and then he comes back, and he's working as a mover with his best friend, and they go through these different trials and tribulations throughout the movie, and it reflects on so many different things that are going on with society right now. Now, it doesn't necessarily answer, like, how do we fix this, but it still touches on them.
Now, I did not see this movie, but I did see the ending of it, because I
you did?
was trying to piece what it was about, and
Yeah.
I ended up getting to the point where I went on a website to watch it all, and it would not work, and I clicked to the end of it, like about maybe like 30 minutes to the end, and saw the ending of it, and it was just so powerful. I had it on my list because I really liked that, but I took it off because I hadn't fully.
You
seen
didn't fully see it exactly.
So, but yeah, no, the ending was extremely. It just hits you in the
rap?
heart. Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
And it was co-wrote by those two actors.
Yeah.
So that was awesome.
They actually write music too.
Yeah, I think they are rappers.
They're rappers. Oh, they're not even rappers. They do it for fun.
fun,
Yeah,
okay.
and you can tell. So
Yeah, there's a lot of rap in this movie, which was pretty cool. I liked it. It seemed like they were trying to like free flow in it. It seemed very natural.
yeah.
Definitely recommend this movie. I messaged a few of my friends just to check it out. That's how I was blown away by just how fun it was.
For my number 8,
Yeah.
Bumblebee.
Oh, yeah.
Bumblebee was a solid Transformers movie that we've never had yet. We've had all the other Transformers movies, and to be honest, after one, it just became
After one, it was...
it wasn't like oh man, it was a slope. Like it was just it was explosions, and even though I love popcorn movies, these weren't popcorn movies. They give you a headache because halfway through you don't have to be. You can be 5 years old and go, man, this is kind of. It's like a 5-year-old wrote it. And this one gave more story on how Bumblebee got to Earth, how the Decepticons and the Autobots...
It actually showed... what's
the
it
fight
called?
on Cybertron.
Cybertron, yeah, thank you.
Which they were the old Autobots, like the old... like their old designs from the cartoons.
Which makes me wonder, how did they get... human cars on Cybertron?
Well, if you look at them, they're like, even the helicopter, it's got like it's like a V shape.
Or Earth cars, rather.
Yeah, and that was the thing, was like the Earth cars that they showed for that, I was a little confused about too. But like the helicopter, they did a good job of making it look a little bit more alien. The jet, though, that was another one that was like, so... But it was on the end of my list because we did see it more recently, and it was a later movie in the year. But it was still amazing. I really liked it, and I thought it had a lot of heart to it. I thought the characters were great, minus the shirt taking off scenes.
Yeah,
that were really weird. So, but
hopefully they can have other critics say these things.
Yeah,
because it's like, you don't need to have that.
No, not at all. It was more like a what? So, but yeah, that's my number 8.
Okay. Number 7, I have Green Book.
Ooh, okay.
So Green Book, I loved. It's Viggo Mortensen and Mahershala Ali. Definitely one of the better movies I've seen in a long time. I know it's low on my list, but there's a lot of good movies that came out this year.
Yeah.
It was hard to make this list.
Yeah. Going through it, I sadly added a couple of Marvel movies in mine.
Yeah.
Which we talked about last year as I didn't think it was fair, but this year, the ones that they were good. And so, but like that movie, I didn't get to see that.
I know.
And, I'm still waiting for it to come out on DVD, so that way.
Yeah, so it's gonna be a bit probably.
Yeah, but when it does come out, that's one of the movies I'm gonna see first. So, but yeah, it looked amazing.
It's hilarious. Has a great story, great message.
And we talked about this earlier. I remember when we were still doing movie Lowdown at my house, and we were doing it in the little guest room, and I remember watching that trailer and just being like, wow, this looks... It was only one trailer.
Yeah.
Didn't give you any more. And I think that's what makes a really good movie, is when you don't have to have multiple trailers. People at this point with Marvel movies expect 3 trailers.
True.
So they go for it. And they're starting to hold back on those, which is nice. But this movie, it was nice because you see... Same with Vice. Vice only had 1 trailer.
Yeah.
And I like that they're doing that now, because otherwise it starts giving away too much of the plot.
I know. And that ruins the movie when you know too much about it,
Exactly. So...
What'd you have?
My 7, I had Deadpool 2.
Yes.
Funny, charismatic.
No, I almost forgot that this movie came out this year.
Yeah.
It came out so early.
Yeah, and it was so good, and it was so wholesome, and it was fun, and I loved that they brought in a bunch of X-Men from X-Force, and then killed them right off.
Yes.
And what was his little Huggy Bear? Oh, I'm trying to think of his name. But whoever that guy was hilarious. Whoever it was just Cable was great in it.
Juggernaut
Was hilarious, which was voiced by Ryan Reynolds, which is even funnier.
Right.
The scene where it's the holy shit. It's just holy shit saying in the background with opera music. And it's a very funny movie. They released it again for Christmas because they wanted to make it a little bit more PG and see how that tested in the waters. And it didn't do too well, but to be honest, it was already out before this year.
And so who's gonna go see it again?
And I know that they added a couple scenes, but that wasn't really
enough to spend $8.50 or more.
Yeah,
come on.
But,
I mean, I understand that a dollar of it is going to his charity, but I'm not gonna go watch it again in the theater.
No,
I mean, I'd rather wait for this release to come out on their deluxe DVD or whatever, Blu-ray,
exactly.
and then get that copy.
And I guarantee you, they added more into that copy too. So we'll see. What do you have for 6?
Number 6, I have First Man.
Oh, that's right. You got to see that. I did not see that one.
Yeah. So First Man, like I was talking about in our review, I felt it was a very complete movie. Like the director probably was like, right after he finished editing it with the editor, and the score of it was so awesome. You can't even tell that it's going on in the background. It's like almost like it's, part of.
Well, they're lucky too because you have a chance to do a beginning, middle, and an end.
Yeah.
I think that a lot of movies now, the middle part is just kind of like, where is the middle? With that movie, I was reading the plot for it because I hadn't seen it, and it did. It felt like reading through it, it wasn't jumping around. It just read like a book.
And then, speaking of doing not having the middle. Look at Toy Story.
Yeah.
The new Toy Story that's coming out. They didn't have the middle done.
Yeah, exactly.
So that makes sense.
And I think that's where a lot of people struggle is what to put in that middle and pass.
They know how to start it and end it. They just don't know how to keep it going throughout.
And I think that's where a lot of the lulls in the movies this year, I noticed, was in the middle was just like the beginnings were just like, I think Predator is the one that falls into that.
Yeah.
Because the beginning's really good, and I like the ending as much as people didn't like the ending.
I like the ending.
But the middle was just like, what are we doing? Like this, you guys just wrote a bunch of things for people to do, and it looks boring.
Yeah.
So.
But yeah, Ryan Reynolds is great in this. I mean, he's always a great actor.
You mean Ryan Gosling?
Ryan Gosling. He's crazy. We were just talking about Ryan Reynolds, Deadpool.
And let's be honest, they're both handsome as shit. So
yeah.
they blend together.
But yeah, First Man is great. I learned a lot about this movie, and I learned a lot about Neil Armstrong in this. And it's so cool to see just how much of a struggle it was to get into space.
And I think we forget about, and not to go on a tangent, but we forget about the fact that this was in the 50s.
Yeah, we take it for granted.
and like, think about now, we still haven't gone to the moon again. We have a bunch of...
They're talking about it.
They're talking about it, and I mean, they talk about Mars all the time, but even with Mars, it's like, to land on Mars is going to be, 15 to 20 years away?
Yeah.
So,
what'd you have?
I had Annihilation.
Dude, this movie...
Visuals were phenomenal. The story was phenomenal. The characters acted really well. Natalie Portman was just phenomenal in it.
Yeah.
The twist at the end. The horror scenes in it. The scene where the bear, actually, they just came out with the scariest scene of the year, was that scene.
No
where
way.
The bear is behind her, and it's the girl
For
screaming.
every movie?
Yeah.
Holy crap. And there's been a lot of good horror movies out there, too, this year.
So,
it was a great year for horror.
Just that scene alone where the bear is like going up to her, and it's the girl screaming.
Yeah.
Instead of like the bear. It's just so nerve-wracking.
That was fucking insane.
So that hit my number 6.
I definitely, I don't have it in my list, but I definitely have it in my, top movies of the year for sure. Just based off how awesome it was, and I wasn't expecting it to be good. It's such a mindfuckery movie. Like, if I was like stoned or on acid, I would be tripping balls watching this movie.
We talk about, like, especially what was it? With I'm not even getting. What was your number 5?
Okay. Number 5. I have A Simple Favor.
Ooh.
Okay, so get this. This is kind of like a chick flick in a way, but it's a good one.
Yeah.
It's a thriller, I guess, thriller chick flick, and I don't know if you remember this movie. So it's with. Sorry.
Oh, you're good. No, and it's one of those movies that I like. Don't even remember the
Anna
trailer.
Kendrick. It's with Anna Kendrick.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
And Blake Lively.
That's right. Okay, yeah. Now I remember. So talk about that one.
So this movie, like, you can usually guess like what's gonna happen with the twist and whatnot. This one I wasn't able to.
Really, it
Like,
just slammed you in the face.
Yeah, it was pretty good with the twists on this.
Okay.
Definitely enjoyable. It's definitely very modern because Anna Kendrick is kind of like a blogger for YouTube, and she does like her own cooking show or something like that.
She seems very innocent in the movie.
Yeah, and I love her. She's a great actress.
Yeah, she's
is so cute. But yeah, this was a great movie. This was my number 5, just because, once again, another movie I was blown away by. One day I just wanted to see a movie just because I was bored, and I picked this one. I was like, oh, why not?
Yeah.
And here you go. It's number 5 on my list.
Oh man. For mine, it's pretty simple. I have Sorry to Bother You.
Okay.
Which we were just talking about.
Yeah.
Like I said, this one really hit home, and I think the more you twist and turn that knife in my stomach, the more I like your movie. And I think that's why I would probably like the one you were just talking about, but I didn't see it. But this one was very much, the ending is just so what the fuck and so amazing. The visuals are great in it. Honestly, Tessa Thompson is just amazing, from Valkyrie.
Oh yeah, that's right. She's in that movie.
Yeah, so it was just phenomenal and really fun, and ended up hitting on my number 5.
Okay. My number 4. This is a surprise. Ralph Breaks the Internet.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I really, really, really enjoyed this movie. This is one of the best animated movies I've seen in a long time. Love the message it had.
Yeah.
Love the message. The visuals were awesome. The Easter eggs were awesome.
Humor
so
was
cool.
probably my
The humor
favorite.
was so good.
Disney's been kind of hit and miss on humor.
Yeah.
And Marvel movies are a different step, and all the other ones, but this, like, I saw Incredibles 2, and I was impressed with everything in it, but it wasn't funny to me. And WreckIt Ralph, I was busting out laughing.
Yeah, that's why Incredibles isn't on my list at all, And so many people were looking forward to that, but I had a lot more fun with WreckIt Ralph.
Yeah, WreckIt Ralph was fun. You get into that Disney universe, and I like how they shut off the whole game system and went right to the internet, and they had to go into the internet and deal with everything. And I thought that they portrayed the internet pretty funny and well.
And it's just so cool to see Disney characters outside of their movies.
Yeah,
That was probably one of my favorite parts about it.
For my number 4, I had Infinity War.
Nice.
Now, Infinity War is a definitive 1 for me, but I don't think that's fair,
Okay.
so I put it in a space where I felt it was fair. It was a lot of fun. I've been watching Marvel movies. I've actually been seeing them day one. Except for Black Panther, which I just couldn't get tickets for. I've been seeing it day one on Thursday, every time it's been released since, I want to say, Thor.
Okay.
So this movie I've been waiting for forever, and we have the 4th one coming out this year, but this one was it was so satisfying.
This was close to your heart, and you were waiting.
Exactly.
Since they brought it up in... what was it, Avengers or something?
Yeah, well, I think that I was more worried that they were going to do Thanos wrong. And they did Thanos so good.
That's what I thought, too. I thought he was going to be kind of a weak
pushover. Yeah. And I love the fact that he got to do the snap. It was intense. The drama in it, I mean, I think it's 2.5 hours long, or 2 hours long.
Something like that.
But it felt like, when I first I saw it 5 times in the theaters.
Jesus Christ.
And, like, luckily 2 of those were, like, free passes that I had. God. But it was just in the theaters. I mean, I was, like, really sad and depressed, like, for a time. And I remember going and seeing it and being like, wow, like, this is really lifting my spirits. Just because I've been so involved with the movies and I've been so dedicated watching them. And, yeah, they're popcorn flicks. But this one really had a lot of emotion to it. I think them killing off all these characters just really... no one was ready for it.
No.
There was... I love watching audience reactions on YouTube because they do the Spider-Man scene and you just... everyone's quiet in the theater. I mean, like, it is just... there's people like... and then, like, Spider-Man his scene comes up where he gets dusted and it's just... you hear sobbing. Like, you hear... and that's all you hear, and it's just so amazing.
Damn.
It's just one of those that it would easily be at 1, but I feel like there's some other stuff that can be at 1. So
Yeah, I mean, freaking even Disney or Marvel wants Black Panther more than this movie. Like,
Yeah.
what the heck? This movie is so much better.
oh, and like, you know, I get that Wakanda forever, but this was just by far my
This
favorite
was the best
MCU movie of the
for
year.
sure.
I didn't put anything else on there. I didn't think anything else was deserving of it. Black Panther was definitely good, but it wasn't amazing.
Yeah.
So, let's get to number 3.
Yeah, number 3, I have Bad Times at the El Royale.
I forgot to add that to my list. Well, that's definitely, like you were talking about, one of the ones that I loved for the year.
Yeah.
It was easily one of my favorites of the year. I'm sorry I don't have it on here.
No. Like I said, it was hard to pick this year.
To be honest, actually, I would actually put that on my 4.
4?
If
Okay.
I'm taking out Infinity War, which I should have,
That's all right.
that is easily an honorable mention in the sense that it's just so good that in my
Yeah.
own eyes. But yeah, I would say El Royale. So talk about that.
Yeah, so this movie is kind of like a Clue in a way.
Yeah.
Kind of like a Clue kind of movie, where a whole bunch of different people join up and don't even know each other technically, but they're all, you know, somehow connected. Thank you.
It was, and I'm glad that you brought this up because then we can both talk about it as
Yeah.
my 4 and your 3. It was, the circumstances that brought all of them together is just so well put. It's like a puzzle piece that it's when you finish the puzzle, you're like, oh, this is done. That's how, when you were talking about the other director that was like,
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
This movie it wasn't stale. It
No.
kept going. I think I was bored for a little bit of it, but it's just because they went through a little bit of exposition.
They had to explain something.
Yeah, and I think that was my only quip with it, but it was just so well done, shot well. The rain scene was probably my
Jesus.
favorite. Oh my gosh.
And people died they weren't expecting. It was very like Game of Thrones, like, why'd you kill him?
Yeah, and you're just, you know, like John Hamm's character, I felt so bad for. Like, he's just trying to be this great guy, and he gets shotgun blasted right in the chest.
Spoiler alert.
Oh, hey, if you haven't seen it, please do. You know, it's funny because I was actually at the gym this morning.
Yeah.
And one of the guys was talking about it. He's like, did you see El Royale? And he's like, no. And I was like, I did. It
Yeah.
was amazing.
Yeah. Number 3?
Widows.
Yes.
Yes.
Great movie.
Great movie. I think we talked about this movie on Lowdown, and we were like very iffy about it. And at the end of, I think we said this on the review too, we sat there for a good like 3 minutes just like absorbing what we saw. It was awesome.
Like, this is another movie that had a great twist in it, I think. Awesome acting. Females. This is a strong female cast. And
Yes.
this is, you know, people are saying females aren't that good. See Ocean's 8 or the new Ghostbusters. But this movie,
oh yeah.
if you're talking shit about female leads, this movie is the one to see.
This is one that I would actually buy on Blu-ray.
Yeah.
Easily spend, you know, $22 on.
It's definitely rewatchable.
Yeah.
I think.
Oh yeah, and I think there's so many little details. Because the one thing I'll say that doesn't really spoil it, because I don't know where it comes from, but at the beginning of the movie, you see the girl that they end up recruiting later on that's running.
Yeah.
You can see her in the background.
You were saying that.
You can see her running in the background in most of the scenes that she has nothing to do with. And I think that that's so cool because you're seeing something that's going on, and it was a lot of weird twists, and it was another one of those where it shanks you right in the stomach, and it turns that knife, and you're just like, I don't care, keep turning it.
And acting was great in this. I love the villains. Daniel Kaluuya, one of the guys that's like the thug for Brian Tyree Henry.
Yeah, he was
Him
amazing.
going like this, talking to the guy. He's like asking him to rap.
Or when he's got a lollipop, and they're at the funeral, and he's just like,
Yeah.
like, hello. But the rap scene by far was my favorite of that movie because it's just like he gets into he's like yeah, and then he just pow, and it's like holy crap.
Yeah, I definitely sat back at that point.
Yeah. So, and then I believe this was on your number 2 too, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was my number 2.
Yeah. I'll go into, or do you want to go into more of it?
No.
Or would you like me to go into my number 2?
Well, your number 2, yeah. Go ahead.
Venom.
I
loved this movie. It was so good.
Yeah.
It was so bad. We'll talk about this on movie Lowdown, but they actually just renewed it for its second movie. The production is starting.
Yeah, I thought they were saying that, though.
Yep. No, they didn't know, but it officially is going through now. So now they're going to have a date soon for when its production starts, and they're going to start getting another movie.
This was probably the best grossing movie Sony had this year.
Yep.
Or the highest grossing, rather.
And it was well-deserved. I think we talked a lot of shit about it.
Yeah.
We talked a lot of shit about
More
this
than
movie.
Aquaman.
Yeah.
More than Aquaman, because we kind of knew it wasn't going to be that great.
But the thing is that with the trailers that we saw, they were deceiving.
Yeah.
Very deceiving because a lot of the stuff that I picked apart in the trailers were changed in the movie, which, as somebody that's like really anal retentive about what goes on in movies and how they do things now, it was a fresh start for Sony.
Yeah.
Because Kevin Feige wasn't part of this.
Not at all, yeah.
Marvel wasn't part of this. So this gives them a lot of leeway that they didn't have before. They were kind of that laughing stock. Like they're almost the DC universe of, Marvel's.
Exactly. No, for real.
But this was just so good, and I loved it all the way through. I'll buy the Blu-ray as well.
Yeah.
By far one of my favorite movies of the year. That was a Marvel, even though it wasn't technically.
Yeah, the only downside on this movie, I think, was the end credits.
Yeah, and that it's going to be maximum carnage.
No. Yeah, I know that. I'm just saying, like, his wig.
Oh,
Wig that he had on was kind of ridiculous. I feel like they could have done better with a better wig or something.
My big gripe with that is, why did they cast such an older person? Because I know that this is like, he's an older Eddie Brock, but Carnage has always been like a younger, not younger, but like
not in his 50s.
Not in his 50s.
Yeah.
So I was really surprised that they cast. I wouldn't be surprised if they actually cast somebody else and they just say whoopsies, like it. But at the same time, I think that too is going to be where it might drop off. I know we've been talking a crap about it, but I think that's where they're going to start recycling things. And
I'm always scared for, sequels.
Yeah. A lot of studios have sequelitis right now. And
except for WreckIt Ralph.
WreckIt Ralph was one of those ones that I honestly was
I liked
going
it better
into.
than original.
Yeah, definitely. It was a lot more funny, and it had a lot more character to it, and characters.
True.
So, especially the Disney princess scene was probably, like, I don't follow any of the Disney princesses, but I got every, like, line but that's the thing. So we'll see with Venom 2 what they're going to do with it.
But he's one of my favorite villains next to the Joker.
He was hilarious in the movie. I love how they
the interaction between him and Eddie Brock.
Oh, you're a loser, Eddie. So am I.
So am I. Yeah.
So, what did you have for one?
I think we both did the same one.
Spiderverse.
You. No, it's you. Me.
Yeah, go ahead and start it off.
All right, so this is another movie I wasn't expecting to be good because it was rated PG. How good can a PG animated movie be? WreckIt Ralph was good.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, but I wasn't expecting Spider-Man movie that is its first animated Spider-Man movie for the big screen. And they just blew it out of the water. They added so many different art styles to it.
Yes.
Phenomenal cast, great story. You're not going to be bored throughout the story, and hilarious.
Hands down, and I'm glad they actually released this in December. If they had released this during the summertime, I feel like it would have fallen off my list.
Yeah.
And I know it's just really fresh, but it was so wholesome. It was awesome. It was just the twists. I like, in spoilers, I like that they killed off Spider-Man at the beginning of Miles Morales' universe.
Yeah, this is a fresh new take on Spider-Man.
Yeah, and it brings you into the Miles Morales world, which not a lot of people know.
No, because he's still fairly new in the comic books.
Yeah. So, but by far one of my, like you said, it was just visually stunning. The acting was great. I thought Kingpin was hilarious.
Kingpin was like this.
It was the best character of the year. It was just so good, and I was so happy with it. I think we both walked out of there going, "What?" So Sony definitely this year.
Oh
stepped
yeah,
their
that's
game
right.
up.
That is a Sony movie. So,
But I think right now Venom is still in.
Venom is higher. Yeah.
Yeah, but that being said, it makes me think of who was in charge of Sony this year.
Also, the advertising. I think there was more Venom advertising than
Definitely.
Spider-Verse.
Well, if you think about it, remember they kind of blew their load at Comic-Con and released that earlier than they were going to.
Yeah. Did they even show Into the Spider-Verse anything?
No,
at
I think
Comic-Con?
they just talked about it.
Yeah.
If anything.
So there was all under wraps until the trailers dropped.
And people were talking about this. People knew that this was happening, but I don't think people realized how much of a scale it was going to be. Bring a Peter Parker, a Gwen Stacy, Miles Morales, and all the other characters from other Spider-Verses was just really fun. New take on it. I think Nicolas Cage, even though he had like maybe 10 lines, was just like, give me a Nicolas Cage noir movie, and we're good and golden for...
Well, John Mulaney is talking about doing a Spider-Ham sequel or a spin-off. That, I don't think it would go to, what do you call it? The theaters, but I could see it like maybe a short.
Yeah, and the thing is Marvel has to start doing animated films.
Dude.
Easily needs to start doing it because
this
DC
is just
has
a testament.
Oh yeah,
And
it's a good for Sony. I've been really impressed with Sony at the end of the year. Now doesn't mean that they're not going to put out garbage at the beginning of the year, because we're in that stage right now from January to Captain Marvel where nothing's going to be good. And
True.
And I'm not even saying that in a mean way. It's just a lot of stuff that they put out in January. They know that people aren't going to the theaters. They know people aren't going to go out and do that. And now I'd like to see them, the different companies, the filming companies, start putting out more better movies because look at December. December was just...
Well, because they do that because the award ceremonies are always at the end of the year.
But, I think that they need to change that up to where, it makes it fun for people to come at the beginning of the year, because you're going to go to theaters now and you're going to see empty theaters because, it's just that time of the year.
Or they're catching up on Aquaman.
Yeah, right. But, this is the time of the year where they're going to be dropping like the Slendermans and...
Oh, they have the Escape Room that came out.
Yeah,
this
that one's kind of hitting with audiences right now. So this is the lull in time. But easily Spider-Verse was my favorite movie of the year.
It's visually amazing. I already said the animation, different styles, but one of the best looking movies you can see in theaters.
Yes.
Wish I had a 4K TV. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, right. And like I like how like there was only one gripe that we had with it.
Yeah.
And it honestly, like, after it gets released in Blu-ray, I heard that it was going to be a little toned down.
Okay.
So that way it's not so like, oh my god.
Yeah, that 3D effect that they did.
Yeah. But easily, yeah. Like, I'm
Number
glad
one.
that we had the same...
I know.
We were on the same page this year.
I can't think of last year what we had for number one.
It was different.
Were both different? Okay.
Yeah, it was different last year, so...
Okay.
But
yeah, that is our top 10 movies of 2018. Here's to 2019. Hopefully it's just as good. I mean, the lineup we have right now. Oh my god.
It's gonna be an action superhero action year for sure, but it's gonna be... I think that there's some good gems out there.
Yeah, and I can't wait to see these movies like A Simple Favor or Green Book come out of nowhere and just blow away us and other moviegoers.
Well, and I think that they need to add more Widows, like movies like Widows, where it was action. They're starting to get away from doing 15 trailers. I just appreciate that a lot better, because you go into these movies and you're not, you're guessing, and me, I like to spoil movies for myself. But I was really good this year and not spoiling anything, and I think that paid off because the last couple of years have been kind of like, I know what's going to happen,
Yeah.
so it's easy to do that. So,
All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for our movie Lowdown later this week. And signing off, I am TJ Washuk.
and I'm Garrett Loberg.
We love you. And good night.
Spider-Man, Spider-Man.
This has been
Just
a
whatever
Guys
spider
production.
can. Spins a web any size. Catches thieves just like flies. Look out, here comes the Spider-Man. Is he strong? Listen, bud. He's got radioactive blood. Can he swing from a thread? Take a look overhead. Hey there goes the Spider-Man.